afternoon, guys. I just want to give you a quick summary of what we've done this week. The main project was, of course, the big table with the metal legs. The legs is finished, powder coated and done. Busy with the top now at the moment. The underside of the top has now got its third and final coat of varnish on. Tomorrow morning I'll start and put the top coats on the top. And then that project will be done and out. Something else we've done, we've got a few trophy pieces for another customer of ours, me and Koenraad. If you look at antique oak, must be one of the most beautiful pieces of wood I've ever seen in my life. Very hard, but amazing to work with. Then I've restored a little small round table for another friend. Cut up a few sheets of plywood and put some holes into it, cut a few holes, elongated holes into it. Also for a friend, just a quick favor. And yeah, that's about it. Let me show you. Hi guys, welcome to the little wood shop. The legs and the braces are done, powder coated matte black. We wrapped it because fine dust and matte black powder coating don't go together very nicely. I'm now going to continue with the top, sand it, finish it. This project must go out before the end of this month, and there's still another one that must go with this table that we'll probably start with next week. So I'm going to show you what we do on this table, the swirl marks, everything that's going on there. So that took about 20 seconds. Paper is all clogged up. I don't use the paper with the holes inside because I don't use dust collection. In my case, no dust collection. If you use the one with the holes, you'll get swirl marks. To clean this, I use a fine wire brush. Switch the machine off. It doesn't really work when the machine is still on. And just give it a nice quick brush. And then also to avoid swirl marks, get rid of all the old dust every now and then, as often as you can, and that also avoids the swirl marks, especially on a soft wood like this. Half an hour sanding. I'm not even halfway. This stuff clogs paper. It's gunky, it's thick, it's horrible. The yellow spots I was talking about is like this, that you see there. And that tells me it's not yellow wood, and the fact that it clogs so much. And I don't think somebody, whoever years ago or up until now, ever oiled the bottom of a table. So I don't think it's oil. I sand with one machine until it's hot, switch over to the next machine, go on. And for those guys that wants to know why I don't wear a mask while sanding, I have an air filtration system that's running. It keeps the air clean. And in current circumstances, this COVID thing, the nature of my job, I wear masks every day, 8 or 9 hours a day. So I really enjoy every minute I don't have to wear one. So guys, sand it with a 80 and then with a 100 grit. That's as far as I'm going to take the bottom of this tabletop. I sanded it because I want to put 3 layers of varnish on it. Now the varnish has got something to grip to. I wiped it now with some mineral turpentine just to get rid of all that horrible, really sticky stuff this. That's as far as I'm going to go for today with this top. As you can see, there's 2 sheets of birch plywood. I'm quickly going to cut that up for another customer. And then we'll come back to this. Guys, what this customer wants, I'm going to take the sheet of plywood, rip it up into 300mm strips. And it's going to be 300mm that way and 2 meters this way. Then at the 1.8 meters we're going to cut an oval hole, 1.4 millimeters, 1.4 meters an oval, and also at 150 millimeters from the bottom. It's got something to do with team building. I'm not sure what this is for, but I'm going to cut it with a TS55. My blade is a bit blunt, so bear with me. They were all cut up into 300mm strips, all of them. I'm just on a miter saw, going to size them up 2 meter lengths. So the plan is we got 2 holes with a hole saw and a drill press, and just cut the in-between pieces. Cut it out, oval holes, 3 stages up. Now guys, this is when a favor for a friend becomes a job. If you do this once or twice, it's fine. If you do it a whole stack of times, it becomes a job. I can't cut on my drill press once. I must move and flip over the board because the throat on my drill press is not deep enough. So I can cut one hole, then I must flip around the whole board to cut the other hole. Now it's becoming a job. So after what feels like 3 days and 40 nights, all the holes are drilled. 8 boards, 6 holes per board, a load of plugs, and 1 hole saw sent to heaven. That was stage 2. Stage 3 will be removing the waste with a jigsaw to create the oval hole, and then we'll take it from there. The reason for me drilling only 2/3 through and then flipping it around and then taking out the plug, it's much easier to take out the plug. If you drill all the way through and this thing sinks in there, it's a mission to get it out of there. You have to shove a screwdriver in here and push it out. Sometimes you even have to use a hammer to get it out. So that's my reason for drilling 2/3 and then flipping it around and finishing off the last piece. There we are, the project are done. My friend says he will do the sanding himself. Personally, I will round over the little holes just to make it for a comfortable grip, but that is his choice. He can decide whether he wants to or not. So guys, back at the tabletop, this is just to show you the swirl marks We sanded the living daylights out of this thing to get the swirl marks away. So guys, the underside of the tabletop, 3 coats of varnish on, sanded just to a 120. Tomorrow when it's dry, I'll just give it a light rub with some steel wool and then some beeswax. Then we'll flip it over and do the other side, the top side. The legs are done, powder coated matte black. I wrapped it in bubble wrap because this fine dust and powder coating doesn't work together. It's a mess to clean up once it's full of dust. I think she came out nicely. I'll show you some photos of the final product. And another quick project me and Conrad finished one night. Just a bunch of trophy holders. The lady cuts perspex and laser engraves and prints on them. Then guys, a few things that made my week much easier. Something that you must always have in the workshop. It's a fine wire brush. I used this thing quite a few times this week. You'll see me cleaning my sanding discs with it. Cleaning my hole saws with it, just to give it some more life and make your job easier. One of the handier tools in a workshop. This thing is amazing. What I've done is, I don't know if you know riv nuts. To install a riv nut, you need a riv nut gun. This is not my idea. It's some guy on YouTube, I can't remember his name now, but please go look. It's a very simple patent. It's 4 little washers, a threaded rod connector, and a bolt that's the same size as your riv nut. Worked an absolute charm and saved me $1,000. Amazing. And I will never use a riv nut in a different way than with this. Another thing guys, whenever you use varnish, I used to leave my brushes just in the turpentine until the next coat. I went through brushes like mad. Now what I've noticed, just with a very little bit of turps, I clean my brush quickly. Takes me 30 seconds at the most. And it's ready for the next layer of varnish. Leaving it in the turps just damages the brush. So save yourself some money and time. Clean it between coats.